Welcome back to the second hour of News and Views on Salon Media. It is exactly 9:24 a.m. Lovely to be with you. And we're moving along with all of the matters that are important in our communities. Next up, we are going to talk with a community activist, and that, of course, is Jefferson Alistair. And this is a very, very serious problem. We're hearing that the DA wants police minister to appear before Parliament over the 5.4, I repeat that number, 5.4 million missing and closed dockets since 2018. The DA says that it will ask police top brass led by Minister Senzo Mchunu to appear before the Parliamentary Police Portfolio Committee after revelations that more than 5 million dockets have been closed due to insufficient evidence or leads since the year 2018. Jefferson Alistair, you are a community activist in the Westbury area, and we salute you for wanting to uplift your community and the surrounding communities as well, and to keep us all safe. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay, this is truly very worrying indeed. Um, I'm actually quite taken aback. I can't believe that we're sitting with, well, that many cases or dockets have been closed or supposedly lost. Where do we stand on this matter, and how did you come to know about this?
Let me say, since the year 2015, we've been fighting this battle of gangsterism and drug dealing in our communities. However, there's so many cases that was opened, and there's no closure to these cases. So most of the cases, including my brother's case that was in 2016, his was sent into an inquest court because of lack of evidence and witnesses not being part of the case. However, for all these years, for over the 500 and some odd people that we've lost in Westbury alone, from 2015 right up to 2024, it has been, there's certain people that really to higher levels where they would go to provincial level, and there would be persuasion for these cases to get to some kind of an end. I know of one family at this current moment that I assisted with regards to getting them to get to provincial level, and also to get one of the other media houses to come out and put pressure on the government regarding these cases. When you listen and you think about the fact that for us, for instance, and I'm referring to, and I say for us, for most of these colored communities that is fighting gangsterism and drug dealing in the areas, we've had, drug dens that was closed, and then the next morning they back into operation again. You have drug dealers that's arrested, tomorrow they back into operation. You have people that was arrested with firearms, tomorrow they back on the street doing the very same thing. So there's no end to these cases, and then you question why. And when you get back at the ranch, you realize it's because of the government that steals money. Where people pay for doctors. I yesterday had just confirmed with somebody that some of the dockets at certain police stations are taken by people that works there. So you worry about these things. What is SAPS? What have they become?
Absolutely, it's very worrying indeed. Now, also understand that on August the 7th, a few days ago, the current Minister of Police has furnished the DA with a detailed breakdown of these dockets. Obviously, the picture is very disturbing indeed, particularly in light of our country's Women's Month celebrations. And this also highlights key areas of concern in both docket management, as you've rightly indicated, and the capacity and staffing shortages in the SAPS detective services. So I think two areas here: docket management, which you've alluded to them disappearing because people are being bribed into making those dockets disappear. But the other big issue we also grapple with is staffing shortages. And the police minister or SAPS are going to say, our hands are tied, what more can we do? We just cannot cope with this. So, as a community activist, what do you believe ought to be happening here?
Let me be honest with you. We've in Westbury alone, we've had a influx of gangsterism since the year 1974. Maybe before that, that's way before my time though. But from that year right up to 2024, we're still struggling with the very same thing. And then there's an increase of how evil people have become and how we find ourselves in the situation at this current moment. So by this time, our government should have worked a proper strategy for all these years around gangsterism and drug dealing in our community, just one community. So what am I saying? Because of what we have in our police stations, what we have in the old government, there was never a case where you could say that it's easy for somebody to buy a case from the state. You know, there was never a situation where somebody would not go to jail for something that they didn't do. And I'm not comparing the governments, but I'm simply saying that we have things in place that is not working for our country, and we can clearly see. And I mean, like, this goes way beyond only in our colored areas, but also in our black communities. You suffer the very same problem. You know, you suffer the very same problem because things comes in and out of communities, move from one community to the other, and the very same thing happens. However, at the same time, if they would take on to a pledge and a plea, you know, when they are sworn in, the day they are inaugurated, that's the day where you make a vow, not only to yourself, but to God and the people, because that is what you need to serve. But if you cannot serve the people wholeheartedly and also serve the people with honesty and integrity, that becomes a problem for us because there's so much employment and unemployment in our areas at this current moment. And then there's a shortage of detectives. There's a shortage of boots on the ground. There's a shortage always of these things, whereas the government is sitting with so much money and they can't do placements for this because they eat the money. You know, we had the former Minister Becky Cele come to our area twice. Becky Cele promised us the moon and the stars. And let me tell you something. What happened? Because there was no stability plan. There was nothing that was set in place to be able to make sure that we will stand firm as a community and take back our community. At this current moment, as an activist, you can't even do what you want to do in the community because you are also seen as a gangster.
And you're at risk, obviously. So, two things that jump out at me, Jefferson, and that is you saying that drug dealing and gangsterism has definitely increased tenfold, if not more, in the colored communities. And it seems as if government doesn't have the will. When I speak with politicians and political analysts and activists, etc., the one key thing that does come through, we do know one of the reasons why we have drug dealing and gangsterism is the high unemployment rate. Youth are so disillusioned that they then turn to drugs. But I think we as communities need to step up our game, and we as civil society need to band together and do whatever and everything we can to wipe out gangsterism and drug dealing in our particular communities. We need to work possibly hand in hand with the police as well. Do you think that that is a possibility in an area like Westbury and other gang-ridden areas like Aldo's and the Cape Flats as well?
You know, honestly speaking, I would want to say to you, the truth is this, that if you have a cop that is clean and that is clear and that has the community's best interest at heart, that also has a passion for their job, that also, you know, with a firm hand come into the community, but also build at the same time. That is one of the best strategies that I would think. You know, the CPF has a structure that might work tremendously. It works very well. It's just the unfortunate thing with all these established drug dealings and all that. I think we've gone a bit too far. So it's going to be very difficult for them to curb that. You know, let me just share something with you quickly. On one of our community chats yesterday, one of the drug dealers posted saying something that they would want to have a. They would rather go for what do you call this thing? Where they take the law in their own hands. You know, to fight
jungle
the
justice.
fight the You understand? So they would want to kill people, and also, so it makes us the very same way as the drug dealer or the killer on the outside. You know, at this current moment, my life is in danger by a drug dealer he even went to a media platform where he spoke about me, saying, I've been doing a peace program in the area with our young people to try and make sure that you curb the level of gangsterism. And when you sit with these boys and you get to speak to them and you understand what happened, why do you find yourself there? And the story goes much deeper. And you understand. So I don't want to bring out what I've been speaking to the boys, but the firm thing that what they are saying is, do you know what my family has been through? Their mindset.
So, okay, Alistair, I'm so sorry, but we do, Jefferson Alistair, we have to wrap up now. Very quickly, and a short, sharp answer. What are you doing to make a difference?
Well, at this current moment, I'm really trying my best. So hence, I'm doing these peace rallies with the young boys. First, it was with the two groups, but then the one group broke away. So I'm just doing it with the one, trying to get to some kind of amends with the others to say that, listen, let's come together and sort this thing out. But as I said, people look at you as a gangster, so that's how I would have to.
That's unfortunately where I'm going to leave it, but I'm going to leave you with something, and I hope you're going to follow through. I suggest you make contact with Gayton McKenzie. I know he's a member of parliament, but there are ways of you to get in touch with him. Raise this issue with him and see how he can help not only Westbury, but all the gang-ridden areas all around the country. He needs to put his money where his mouth is, because those are the type of promises he has made when he wanted the votes. So let's leave it there, and we will do a follow-up interview sometime soon. But please do promise that you're going to reach out to him.
I will certainly do that. I will.
Okay, you go well. God bless and keep safe.
Thank you kindly. I know.
9:36 a.m. News and Views on Salam Media. And I do think that next we are going to be talking with Naweed Mohammed. He is with Islamic Relief South Africa, and he's going to talk to us about fundraising.